Give it a couple seconds. See when this says we are live. We are live. I think we're good to go. All right, cool. So it is Monday. It's January 15th. Welcome to another live Q&A session here. Dave Warden, Triumph Coaching Group, and I hope you all are having a great start to your week. You enjoyed your weekend and you're ready to really kick this week's butt. So in today's video, we're going to answer again questions from viewers, business owners like yourself who are looking to level up their business, grow, be more successful, but maybe right now you just don't know or you're facing a stumbling block or an obstacle in your way. We're going to give you some guidance and some support to help you overcome it. So some housekeeping items before, if you're watching this video live, you can down in the comments put hashtag commands or some chatbot automations there that you can find out some more information where you can submit your questions. But if you're listening to this right now or watching the recording and you have a question about your business, whether it comes from leadership, whether it comes to operations, strategic planning, executive level support, whatever the question is, if you want to ask it, two ways. One, drop it down in the comments below. All right. Or two, you can email us at growth@triumphcoachinggroup.com. Did you get that? If you watched any of my other ones, I normally do growth@info for whatever reason, but I actually got it right this time. So growth@triumphcoachinggroup.com. Send us a message with your question and I will get it answered in our next live stream, and I'll email you back and let you know which episode it's on so you can listen to it and get the answer to your question. So I look forward to supporting you all in your journeys, whether it's just getting started or whether you're established and you're 5 to 10 years in and you just want to take that next level up. I am here to support you in any way. So let's go ahead and get started. First things I want to talk about, and follow up from last week, talked about the two things that are most important to business owners is speed and experience. So speed in your responsiveness, speed in, getting proposals back to your customers. Remember that. Focus on that as you're going into 2024. And then the second part is the experience that you're providing to your customers, your clients on a regular basis, whether it's the first time that they've been and they're in your business or it's the 100th time. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to providing them the same level of experience every single time. And first thing I wanted to start with is an example of that experience factor. So I saw this on a local post, not going to name any names of the company, but it was a restaurant industry. The person who was posting explained that they've visited this establishment plenty of times, enjoyed themselves, food was great, but this most recent time, the cook messed up an order and was very visibly on the floor and was heard saying things about the customers making customizations. And this is where it comes down to the experience. This then obviously left a horrible experience in this customer's mind that they even felt compelled enough to post it on social media. Now, that's a different debate, right? Should you be posting things? Should you be talking to owners, whatever? And apparently this person ended up actually being a relative and very close to the owner, which is even more, kind of astronomical that you would act like this towards your customers who are visiting your establishment. And so what you have to be mindful of is that every single time that you engage with a client or a customer, it has the potential to get out there. And so what you want to do as an owner and how you want to train your employees is that every single time you want that experience to be memorable, right? I believe in being memorable right here. I have it tattooed on my forearm. Every single thing that you do with your customers should be done to leave a memorable experience for them. Because what's going to happen is they're going to go out and hopefully they're then going to post that on social media about how wonderful you are. You don't want the negative feedback, right? And in this case, it was avoidable. Like, no matter what frustrations you have as a business owner or your employees, you have to address them. So this is twofold, right? If you're the owner, you need to keep them aside. You need to literally not bring them into the work environment. But as a leader in your business, here's where you have to recognize that employees are human, right? You can't just tell them the old adage of leave your personal life at the door and act professional. You have to understand as a leader that people are human. They can't necessarily, if they had an argument with their spouse or they're facing financial struggles, that's not just going to be left at the door. That's going to come into the working place. So where our job as a leader comes in is that we have to practice empathy. We have to show them and let them know that we care about them and we can help them in any way, whether it's just to open up, an ear to talk to. That's helped immensely in my past, is just listening and letting them voice some frustrations or talk through a situation and then help them solve it. There may be things that solutions out there that you as a leader or as a business owner can help them with. So just listen to them. And this will allow them to then feel comfortable enough to go out, serve the customers, and be able to provide a high quality experience. Because if you don't take the time as a leader to address their issues or their concerns or their frustrations outside of work, it will come into your place of business and it will affect their interactions with your customers. So if you want high quality customer service and customer experience, which is the second thing that you should be focusing on in 2024, you need to make sure that you're practicing empathy and you're coaching your employees in a way that not just says leave it at the door. It's not going to happen. As much as you want it to happen, it's just not going to happen. We're all human. Your employees are human. There's going to be things that are going to come over, but you have to coach them up. So talk with them, practice empathy with them, coach them, and they'll give you high quality interactions with your customers because of it. So, that's the one thing that I just want to talk about, that interaction. I'm going to do a little bit more in depth, kind of, from the coaches desk, off site on the YouTube channel. But for now, that's how I wanted to address that. So, a couple questions here that I wanted to kind of talk about. Here we've got one on diversifying revenue streams. So I'm heavily reliant on a single revenue stream. How can I diversify my business's income to ensure more stability and growth potential? Now, here's where there's a lot of confusion. So people who start out in business, or they want to get rich, they see that successful people have 10 different revenue streams coming into their life. So they assume that they need to start 10 different revenue streams in their life. Well, this is where the miscommunication comes in. Those 10 revenue streams were built up over time. They didn't all just happen at once. So if you're just starting out, you're just listening to this, okay? If you're just starting your business, focus on one revenue stream. Focus on maximizing that revenue stream for your business, making it the most efficient, making it the most effective. Once that has happened, then you can begin to diversify. And when I say reliant, right, make it most efficient, is, you don't want to just have that one revenue stream based on one client, one customer, right? Because if that customer leaves or that client leaves, you're gone, right? Your whole business is gone. But making it in a way that revenue stream is maxed out by having a max number of customers at a cost that's effective to them, that is efficient for your business, and that the process from onboarding to sale to closing, it's all there. Then once you've done that, now you can begin to diversify. So if you've reached that point in your business and you're established enough and you have a wonderful, process and plan in place for your sales and your main revenue stream, start thinking of complementary options that you can diversify into, to complement that as another sales process and another revenue stream, whether it's within the same customer base or a complementary customer base. So if you are all focused and your main revenue stream is all focused on one type of business industry, right? So let's say you're all on retail. Can you get into the B2B versus B2C? Can you start selling stuff to business owners? So now you have a different revenue stream, whereas everything was B2C, so right to consumer, so you're retail. Can you reach out to business owners and sell some sort of product that is in their line of business? Or let's say you service all landscaping companies for whatever reason. Can you also, get into pool installers? So those are ways to start thinking of different revenue streams is outside of your everyday customer base, is one way. Another way is thinking of complementary products. So if you sell, your main product is your most profitable product, is there a complementary service or similar product that you can offer to your customer base since they already have bought into your company, they trust your company, they continue to come back to you. Is there a product that you can also offer them that will, serve as an additional revenue stream from them, whether it's a support level, whether it's additional value that you can provide to them? These are things that obviously got to get way more in depth, but once you get that one process down and that one stream ready to go and it's efficient and everything's working smoothly, that's when you can start focusing on different diverse revenue streams. So that's kind of the main answer there is don't try to do 4 or 5 revenue streams right when you're starting. Really focus on that one to start, and then you can diversify once you've established that one. So the market is increasingly competitive, and I'm struggling to keep up. What unique approaches do you recommend to stand out in a crowded marketplace? And fancy you say that, because this is where I really talk about the market dominating position. It's also similar to a USP or a unique selling proposition. And you as a business owner really need to identify what do you do that's different from everybody else. Whether it's service, convenience, quality, what is it that you focus on that nobody else in your marketplace focuses on, or at least messages that they're focusing on? This is how you can set yourself apart from the competition. Actually, just put a post out about this earlier today, without knowing that this question was coming on the show, earlier today on our profile, which walks through the 3 steps of creating your MDP. Okay, so take a look at that post. It's down below. Also, if you grab a copy of the ebook, the Breakthrough Blueprint, in there, I talk about the market dominating position and the 3 steps that you can take to really begin to define how you're different. And in a difficult marketplace, what you don't want to do, and this is the things to stay away from, is you do not want to just mirror what everybody else is saying. And this is what a lot of business owners who get into business, they initially get into business, and they go to their competitor's website, or they go to their competitor's messaging, and they literally just mirror that, right? So they take their we have X amount of years of experience, we have so many certifications, we've received so many accolades and awards. Like, think of things that your competition can't say that you can, and message that. That's what's going to really set yourself apart in a seriously competitive market. And then think about your market dominated position. So here's 3 steps, right? The first one is really uncover your unique edge. And I'll summarize the post here. So what is your unique edge? Think of, a beauty boutique that, that every time somebody comes in, they get a glass of champagne, or they get an extra pampering, right? So that's something that's going to set them apart. So that's a unique edge. And then what's your compelling value? So how do you add more value to your product that your competition isn't? So think of a software company that provides intuitive, user-friendly interfaces that reduces the learning curve for their new users. So instead of maybe 4 weeks to onboard and really get comfortable with the software, they have, over your data collection in terms of the software company, can do it in 2 weeks. That's a true competitive advantage that you can market, that you have literally cut the learning curve in half for new users of your software. But think of your company, whether it's quality, eco-friendly, environmental materials, whether it's convenience, so you come to them instead of them having to come to you. Think of like mobile groomers, dog groomers, right? The convenience there is something that you should be, putting yourself apart, whether it's And when I say convenience, obviously, if your industry is mobile groomers, everybody is coming to them. But how quickly can you get to them? Speed. Are you a 1 to 2 hour person, or are you, within 24 hours? If you're a repair shop, what is it that you can offer that nobody else can? Think about that, message that. That's how you're going to be setting yourself apart. And then finally is, what is your unbeatable benefit? So what is the benefit of your service or your product that nobody else gets? Is it a perfect fit every time if you're in clothing? Do you offer a lifetime guarantee on the product where if it's ever broken, you're going to replace it? That your competitors aren't offering. What is that benefit that you can message to your consumer that nobody else in your industry offers? Now, if you come to this point, you've analyzed the competition and you've looked at yourself in your company, and you're like, I really can't find three things, right? I really can't create a statement that sets myself apart. Then let's talk, because I truly believe no matter what, you have a advantage somewhere that you just can't think of, and that's the beauty of coaching, is that we can help you identify that and help you message that um, to your consumers to really begin to set yourself apart from your competition. So that's how I would suggest create your MDP. If you don't have one, take those 3 steps. Take a look at the post earlier today and begin to craft your MDP statement. Let's see. My current marketing strategies are not yielding the desired results. Can you please provide some insights on more effective ROI-driven marketing approaches for businesses? So here's what I would say. For small businesses, really begin to identify the 1 to 2 areas where you want to get your customer base, and really talk directly to your client or your consumer in that target industry, especially when you're marketing to them. Then direct them to a specific landing page that is directed to that pain point that you're talking to them about. So it obviously becomes really, kind of intricate depending on the business that I'm talking to. But the main focus here is talk directly to your consumer. Don't talk in generalities or talk in a group. Make them feel like you're talking to them. Then once you do that, now you're going to direct them to a specific landing page that markets to that pain point and that gives them the solution that you provide. And don't be afraid to give them value. Okay. Consumers nowadays are focused on value. So you as a business owner should be willing to give some sort of value for free in order to gain their attention. They're giving you their attention. Their attention is high demand, right? There is so many things going on in their phone, on their computer, in their work life, in their personal life. If they're giving you their attention, you should be willing to give them something back in return by giving away some free value. So think about what that is in your business. Be willing to give away some free value, and then specifically identify who you want to target. Pick 1 or 2 kind of industries. Don't be general, or target markets, maybe not necessarily industries, but really niche target markets, and market to them to start. And then send them directly to different landing pages with different automation. That's how you're going to see a bigger ROI, because you're going to grab their attention. Again, we talked about attention. If you use our conversion equation, which again is in our ebook, so hashtag ebook, or not hashtag, exclamation point ebook down below in the chat bot, you can go down, get a free copy of it. In chapter 11 there, in our leads chapter, we talk about the 4-part conversion equation that you should be using in your website, in your marketing materials, on your social media posts, that interrupts their attention, right? They're scrolling. You need to figure out a way that's going to grab their attention quickly. So figure out what the pain point is, craft a statement that's going to grab their attention. Then you can hit part 2, which is the engagement. This talks about potentially the solution that you have to solve that pain point. Part 3 is your education. So what is the value? What is the support you're going to give them to begin to educate them on the solution and how they can overcome that pain point? And then part 4 is the compelling offer. So making an offer that's truly irresistible to them, so that whether it's reaching out, whether it's grab their free report with submitting their information, whatever it is, that 4-part conversion equation will work in your marketing. If you're not using it, then this is probably why you're not seeing the high ROI that you would expect from your marketing. So again, think through that, back at your market messaging, and find out, does it follow the four part? Does it hit them with an interrupting statement to start? Does it begin to drip a solution that you have, provide some education value, and then at the end hit them with the compelling offer? And if you have questions on that, again, reach out. We can talk through that for your specific company, if you're drawing a blank when it comes to your marketing. So we have a little bit more time here. So again, please, if you have questions, if these are not the main questions that you have, and you have a specific question about your business, send it in the comments below. Okay, you can drop it there. I'll make sure it gets answered in a future episode. Send me a message here on Facebook at Triumph Coaching Group. You can send me a message. I will make sure that it gets answered. And then finally, if you don't want to do either one of those, you can send us an email, growth@triumphcoachinggroup.com. Shoot me an email with your question. I will make sure that it gets answered on one of the future episodes and let you know which episode that is, so that you can tune in and watch it. And if you're watching this on a recording, I truly appreciate it. Views help obviously a lot when it comes to algorithms, social media, all of that stuff. So I look forward to it. Again, these are strictly on Facebook Live right now. However, I will be moving them also, and I will be, start doing these on YouTube as well, and posting them at least on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Triumph Coaching Group LLC, where we're sharing more insights, more value, more feedback. Like I said, more in-depth conversations about specific topics. So I look forward to it, and hope that you have learned something from today's video. But let's jump into a couple more questions before we jump off. Struggling with growth plateaus. As a business owner, I've hit a plateau. What strategies would you suggest to help me break through a stagnation and achieve new levels of success? So there's a couple things when you've hit stagnation in business that you should be looking at. One is identifying what is your most profitable service or product. And are you giving that line of service or that product line your most attention to really increase the attention on that service or product? If not, you can really begin to maybe readjust some marketing, readjust your attention so that you're beginning to sell that profitable product or service. If you feel like your most profitable product or service has the most of your attention, then what you can also do is begin to look at what is additional value that you could add to maybe increase, the average purchase price for that product. So if you have a service-based business, and you feel like you're charging the max right now for the value that you're providing, what is an additional value offer that you can provide to your consumer that will increase the sales price? This will help you kind of grow without necessarily serving more customers. You can almost just reach out to your current customer base and offer this additional value. They trust you. They continue to work with you. So as long as you're providing them more value than it's costing them, they're going to be more than happy to do it, and it's going to help you kind of reach that next plateau, get out of the current plateau, reach that next level, right? And another way here is look at ways to partner. Maybe you're at a point in your business where you can reach out and begin to partner with individuals who are complementary to your product or your service, and partner with them in ways that are going to help you kind of level up, where make more sales, reach a new industry or a new customer base, right? And by doing this, you can get yourself out of a plateau. And then finally, one of the other things that a lot of small business owners like yourself are hitting is that look at your pricing and then look at your costs. These are two things that small business owners kind of overlook on a regular basis. So if you've had an increase in your costs, so whether it's from a supplier or whether it's from your service provider, are you increasing your prices to offset that? Because if you're like most small business owners for the last 2 to 3 years, you haven't touched your price because you feel like you have to be the lowest. And in the end, you shouldn't be competing on price. You should be providing so much value to your client or your consumer that the price isn't even, it's an afterthought. because they know that they're getting so much value, so much support, so much quality from your product that price isn't even thought of. And I mean, Lamborghini doesn't try to serve more people, right? They have a price, they have a quality that they give. So, Ford has to compete because there's so many other people that are providing kind of the same quality of service or product, right? That they have to compete on price. People are price negotiating, but you don't see that in the higher level because there's a quality there. So, where do you lie in your business? So, look at the quality and begin to step that up, and it'll help you kind of get out of that plateau. And it's kind of going back to the pricing. So, a 3 or 4% increase in your supplier price can impact your bottom line, your net profit by like 20-30%, depending on your profit margins to begin. So it's a huge increase. So when you get a 3% supplier increase, don't just write that off. That's a huge bottom line impact to your business if you're not going to also increase your price to offset that. So if you've, over the last couple of years, received price increases from your suppliers, but you haven't gone and analyzed your own price that you're charging, you're probably costing yourself 20, 30, even 50% on your net profit. So take a look at that and begin to, update your price. And here's the thing, consumers, when you let them know why there's a price increase, they understand it. We're in an inflation period right now in this country that's crazy. They understand it. Now, some people may not like it, and of course, you may lose customers, but here's the beauty, is that when you're charging a higher price, you're never going to lose 100% of your customers. So once you look at the numbers, and we can break that down with you, do you really feel like you're going to lose, 20, 30% of your customers, which is typically what it takes to really drastically impact your bottom line? Probably not. And in some cases, depending on the price increase and where your revenue at, the numbers come out to, do you think you're going to lose half of your customer base because you did a 5% increase in your price? And once you see those numbers, you begin to realize that, as humans, we think the negative, right? So we're thinking, we increase our price, we're going to lose our customer base. And that's just not the actual reality of the situation. And what the beauty of it, the ones that leave, those are the ones who never were really truly loyal to you in the first place as a business. So now maybe you lose 10%, but now you have 10% less customers to deal with, and you're still making more money on the bottom end. So focus on value, focus on quality, and focus on ensuring that you're offsetting any price increases that you're getting by a price increase to your customer. I know it's difficult to think as a small business owner, you are like, I don't want to increase my price. But in the end, it comes down to you. It's money out of your pocket and to pay your family, put food on the table, cover the roof over your head by not doing that price increase to cover increases that you're paying on your back end. So here we are a little after 11:30. I know I got a little bit late start today trying to get the technology running, but so again, I hope everybody got a few tips of information to impact your business. Again, I want to hear from you. So if you have feedback or questions, please reach out. I'm here at any time. I'm always checking my email. I'm always looking to provide benefits and support to you, the business owner. So reach out, whether you want to drop a comment down below, send me a message here on Facebook, either on my personal page or here on the business page, or send me an email, growth@triumphcoachinggroup.com. But remember, if you're going through anything, please keep your head up, keep pushing forward, one step in front of the other, and you'll make it through. Everything's only temporary. Every situation you go through in this life, whether it's good or bad, it's only temporary. So keep pushing forward. But until Thursday's session, I'll see you later. And I apologize for not having last Thursday's session. Was a little under the weather. So hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you later.